welcome back to the channel, and it's our third part of the Dad's Army story, and this one is Corporal Jones in all his glory. Now this is season 7 and it's episode 1 and 2 and the last one of season 6. The recycle. While the captain is in a hospital, Sergeant Wilson is left in charge of the platoon and lets the vicar and the verger join the ranks. Mainwaring dismissed himself from hospital, and on his return is horrified at Wilmington Home Guards new recruits. Because what happened was Mainwaring had a bad toe and he had an operation, so he was in hospital, and there at the top is the verger and the vicar who joined the platoon, and Mainwaring wasn't very happy with Wilson letting them sign. Now for our next one, everybody's truck. The platoon is on signposting the Wilmington area to ensure the smooth passage of several battle lines of regular troops on their way back. Their vehicle gets stuck beside an abandoned steamroller, and soon enough they reach the town, getting stuck there too. So what happens, the van gets stuck and they try and get Hodges to help him, and he gets stuck and everything goes pear-shaped. And as you can see, if you can see that one over there with Hodges and that. Now our final one, man of action. When Mainwaring allowed the Eastbourne Gala report, the Mr. Cheeseman, to write a series of articles about the platoon. The captain is demanding to make a good impression. However, things don't exactly go to plan when Cheeseman turns up because a Pike ends up with his head stuck in a fence. What happens, Cheeseman's like this reporter, and what happens, Pike puts his head inside this fence, this gate, not a fence, a gate, thinking that he could get his head out, because when he was young he did it, but he couldn't get his head out, so they had to take the gate off. As you can see, Pikey with his head in the gate and that. And this is the end of season 6 and the start of season 7. Now for our next one, and this is Cheeseman. That's the photographer. So this is 3, 4 and 5. Go farewell. The platoon is undertaking a military escort. It must provide a secret agent. Mainwaring becomes the captured while travelling the countryside, but there's a guerrilla on the loose which seems to have a special interest in Wilmington's finance. What it is that Mainwaring decides that he was going to be the secret man, and the platoon are trying to stop him, and in the end there's this person dressed up as a gorilla trying to stop them getting through and that, and they try to tranquilise them and that. So our next one is God Live Fair. Joint is forces and jealousy. Mrs. Fox is being ruled by the town clerk, Mr. Gordon, and he even cast her as Lady Godiva in the village parade, in which the platoon will be marching Morris dancers. Mainwaring has a word with her, with the surprise consequences. So as you can see up the top, they're all dressed as Morris dancers, and what happens, the costume gets pinched, and it's Mrs. Mainwaring dressed up as the Lady Godiva. Now, the captain's car. This is, well, the first one was 29th for the 11th, 74. Then it was the 6th of the 12th, 74. And now we got the captain's car, which was the 13th for the 12th, 75. Lady Miriam leads the platoon her Rolls Royce, and even allows it to be painted camouflage colours, but there's a mix-up at the town hall, and the mayor's car ends up getting the same treatment. Can Mainwaring's men paint it black again in time for an important ceremony honour a visit of a French German? So what happens, the car's like stationed at the town hall, and then it goes off, and then another car turns up. What is it? The mayor's car. And at the same time, I think it's Wilson and Pikey thinks it's the car to be taken, and both cars get camouflaged. That we haven't come to the story where it's Walker leaves, so I don't know if I miss it. For our next one is season 7, episode 6, season 8, 1 and 2. Now, the first one is the 23rd of the 12th, 74, the turkey dinner. The platoon pops into the pub while out on patrol when another pub, then another. At the end of their drunken evening, Jonesy shoots a turkey. When the four to find the bird's owner, they decide to serve up a roast dinner for the town pensioners. So what it was, they shot this turkey in, and they was trying to find whose turkey was. They even go to this farmer's turkey farm, and they're trying to count all the turkeys by putting rings over them. But at the end, they cooked the turkey and that. So for our next one, ring damn bells. Meanwhile, the platoon is chosen to appear in the Home Guard training film as Nancy Germans. The men arrange at a local to discover the that the film has been postponed. In short, when the platoon dress up as Germans stop off at the 6 Bells for a drink. So they all dress up, as you can see. They all dress up as Germans, and pretending. And you've even got because Pikey's like a German officer, and as they're going along in war, Wilson's mini boss, not Jonesy's van, he's putting a Heil Hitler sign and pretending to be a German. This one was the 5th of the 9th, 75. So for our next one is When You Got to Go. This was transmitted this 12th of the 9th, 75. Pikey gets his call-up papers, passing his medical, and is all set to join the RAF. Much to his mother's horror. To mark the occasion, the platoon organised a farewell fish and chip supper. But on the evening of the meal, young Pikey has an important news to break to his farewell dinner. Now, what happens is there's a picture of Pikey. They can't have him because he's got rare blood, so he doesn't get these call-up papers and that. So for our next one, we're on season 8, 5 and 6, and this is there honey still for tea? This was 19th of the 9th, 75. Manwaring and Wilson has some bad news to break to Private Godfrey. His home, Cherry Trees Cottage, has to be demolished to make way for the new aerodrome. While they're struggling to tell him, Pike Fraser hints a plan to save Godfrey's house. So there they are having tea with Godfrey, and they're trying to get him that there. But in the end, they don't. They move it to a different area. So for our next one, come in, your time is up. This was transmitted the 26th of the 9th, 75. To pretend a field craft of platoon sets off on a camping weekend, only to find the vicar is taking his Sea Scouts to the same spot. But Manwaring and his men also come across some less happy campers. The group of shoot down Nancy German air flyers in the ditch. So they commandeer the scouts boat, and they try to capture these Germans in the water and that, and all things happen and people fall in. I think Jonesy falls into the water. I think or is it Hodges? I know one of them fall in the water. Now, next one is the 3rd of the 10th, 75. Higher fear. Jonesy's need to pay £50 to the bank to save the float. Things is he owes the £50 to by the oranger, but the oranger is owed the money by Miss Tyndall, who is owed the money by Will. Manwaring even gets to the bottom of the financial web in death. So, there you can see in that Jonesy in his water thing. What happens, everybody owes them money and they have to pass it on. Even Fraser is involved with doing this £50. So he gets it back, and at the same time, someone was after him because his wife owed £50 for the food and that. So at the meeting, the person takes the £50 off him, and that's how all that turns out. So that's our next one. So for our next one, this 21. So this is season 8, episode 6, and the Christmas special 75 and 76. Faced on the poster, 10th of the 10th, 75. Manwaring decides to start a cycle campaign to sign up more men, and Lieutenant Corporal Jones wins the search bowl to have his face appear on the post. But there's a mix-up with the printers, and Jonesy ends up a wanted man because they're trying to take the photo and that, and everything goes pear-shaped, and Jonesy's face is on the wanted poster and he gets arrested. And as you can see, it's Fraser on there. And for our first Christmas one, I'm my brother and I. Now, this was 26th of the 12th, 75, and this is Barry Manwaring, George's drunken brother, turns up in Warmington, much to the captain's embarrassment. Barry has come to reclaim his father's golden watch and gate chain crash. A sherry party Manwaring is hosting for the locals. So what happens, his brother, who looks like Manwaring, and he's trying to get this watch back from Manwaring and that, and he gets drunk, and he'll end up with that. So for our next Christmas one, what was transmitted 26th of the 12th, 76, Love of Free Oranges. Now the Parish Council holds a bazaar to raise money for the comforts for the troops. For fun, Jonesy makes a monster brawn, and Fraser Godfrey's sister provides wine, but Mrs. Waring make an appearance with her lampshades. And what happens with this? There's 3 oranges, and Manwaring wants to buy the oranges to make up for his wife, and he ends up him and Pikey are bidding for the last orange against each other, so they win the bet. But in the end, they think the oranges are ordinary orange, but the oranges what they use in making jam. And there's one of the funny pictures. I don't know where this from is. I don't know if that's to do with it, that one. But there's the warden doing the auction. And for our next one, it's Walker on the back. So, this is the 2nd of the 10th, 77. Wake up, Warmington. When the platoon tries to be the butt of local jokes, Manwaring decides to shake the town out of their comforts and decides himself and his men as fifth colonists. Well, they appeared at looking further, rising at the surprise of Warmington-on-Sea. What they do, they all dress up as German fifth colonists, and even Hodges is being taking the mickey because everybody's taking the mickey out of them all and that. So for our next one, the making of Private Pike. This was transmitted the 9th of the 10th, 77. Luring by a charm of Hodges' niece, Sarah Private Pike gets out on a date to the cinema to the Eastbourne, but the cheeky Civil Manwaring's new car. But why does the young lovebirds fail to come home after the night out? So what happens? The car what Manwaring has been given, a staff car. Pikey nicks it to take his young lady out, and on the way back they break down because they've run out of petrol and they get into trouble and that. So for our next one, Night of Madness. This was transmitted the 16th of the 10th, 77. And this is where it's Wings of Victory, a week of, and they are going to be a big march past for the Warmington, Manwaring and Hodges battle over whether the Wardens or the Home Guards should be doing the final, then end up sharing a Hermes, and each has a surprise up their sleeve because they're doing like St. George of the Dragon, and they're both the Hodges people doing St. George of the Dragon, Manwaring's girl doing it, so they end up fighting each other and that. So for our next one, it's Hodges on the back again, and this is season 9, episode 4 to 6. No, the Mistress Hug. Fraser Proud covering of gold sovereigns and rebuff Manmin advise on how to invest the coins. He tells the bank manager he's hidden it somewhere safe, so the platoon decide to follow him when he does some digging in the cemetery. So what happens, Fraser, he's got these gold sovereigns, and a friend of his accidentally see him knock him over, and then he's trying to convince Fraser to invest the gold sovereigns in the bank, and there he is hiding it. He puts it in a safe thing, buries it, and when they dig it up, they open it and it's just a brick. So for our next one, the number of engagement, the 11th of 6th of the 1177. The platoon has a guild of strength of a telephone wire, guarded telephone wire that transmits highly important war information, but they're an air raid while they are on duty, and they discover that an unexploded bomb trapped in the wire. How will they get it down and make it safe? So what happens? They're in this trying to guard these telephone lines, and an unexploded bomb kept trapped in the wire. And as you can see in that picture, they're making porridge, and Pikey has overdone it with the porridge and that. Now for our next one, Never Too Old. Excuse me. This is transmitted on the 13th of 1177. Old Jonesy is beside himself. He asks to marry the widow of Warmington, Mrs. Fox. To marry him, the men gathers wake at Strel, waiting for her response. Will she say yes? And more important, if she does, will he marry him for love or for the mate? So I think this is the very last one of the series where Pikey, not Pikey, I mean Jonesy gets married to Mrs. Fox, and it ends with them all toasting everybody, and they're on guard on his wedding night. So I think that's the very last one of the series. So here we go to the very first series, and this is the episode 1, Men of Honour. These ones was in black and white. So this was transmitted on the 31st of the 768. It's May 1940 in Warmington-on-Sea. The radio announcer, Anthony Evelyn, announced the forming of the local defence volunteers to guard against Nancy invasion. Bank manager Mr. Manwaring appoints himself captain and looks for a crack team of men. So there's the picture of him, and he pretends he sort of wants to be the captain. So the museum piece, 7th of the 8th, 68. The unarmed platoon has to wait 6 weeks for any arrival of their weapons. In the meantime, Manwaring decides to commandeer what equipment he can from the local military museum, but the man doesn't bank on a caretaker, a cantankerous caretaker standing in their way. And there he is. I don't know if you can see him there. So for our next one is Commander's Decision. Manwaring promises his men they have weapons at the end of the week. When Captain Square offers guns in exchange for captain of the platoon, Manwaring feels objected to stand down and fulfill his promise. So there he is. So Captain Square wants to be and they're all on horses now. And there you can see Walker there. So for our next one is... Now, I'm going to stop this one because I'm going to do the next one, the next lot, in the last one. So this is where I'm going to end season part 3 and do the last bits for part 4. So I hope you enjoy this part of Dad's Army and stay tuned for part 4.